Welcome everyone to today's video. We have some great news for AMC and we're going to be basically going through that. Now, looking at where AMC actually did close last time, we did see it close at $2.27 USD. Now, that actually was a negative 2.58%, but on top of that, it still is following the pattern that we have been seeing play out, over the last couple of months for sure. Now, just to quickly show you how we are looking. Now, just to show you, remember that we have touched on the falling wedge that is, technically forming and continuing to form. Now, when it comes to, obviously, AMC, there is a lot more to it than just technical analysis. But as of right now, we have seen it follow the same pattern, which we have been expecting it to. A falling wedge is completely forming. We saw it actually break out of the falling wedge for a little bit, but now we have actually seen it head into the right direction. Now we are sitting in a pretty good spot because it is sitting at that support line. So hopefully this does hold up. If it does hold up as a great support, we could actually see move into more of a bullish sort of direction before maybe potentially one more move down before the next move up. So, a falling wedge is more of a, bullish sort of reaction. And that's why we definitely are keeping an eye out for the way AMC does move over the next couple of days. It will definitely give a lot more confirmation as the days go on what is happening with AMC, and hopefully we start to see it turn around for sure. Now, looking at the stochastic, it is showing overbought situations. Now with MACD, it is a little bit different. We are still in a very bearish situation and are just starting to head towards a bullish. So definitely different kind of, I would say, results from both of those actual indicators, but overall it is still moving in the direction that we have hoped for, and it is just a matter of days for it to continue to follow that process. So it is definitely going to be interesting to see. Now, looking at AMC as well, what we also do know is that it is more than just technical analysis. So looking at where AMC is actually at, we did actually see it close when it came to AMC. We saw it close at an off exchange of 74.8%. So obviously we have a big week ahead of us, but last time it did close on the Friday, had 11.352 as a volume. Today's off exchange and dark pooling volume is 11.352, as we said, which is 74.8% of today's volume. And then today's lit volume is 3.8 million, which is 25.2% as well. So over the past 30 days, the average off exchange and dark pool volume has been 72%, which is insane. And then the average lit volume has actually been 27.86. So really, really interesting to see there. Obviously looking at, AMC and the way it has been moving. 74%, I would say, is somewhat of a lower type of exchange percentage day. However, overall, when you look at other actual stocks, there is not many stocks that have 74% happening in the off exchange. So, when you compare it to AMC, yes, you could see it as a lower day, as we've had days where it's gone up to 80%, 82% at times. But overall, having 74% off exchange is insane for any type of stock for sure. Now, looking at also the total short volume reported, we had 34.94. So that was 13 million pretty much. That was actually more than the day before. And then total long volume reported of 65.06. So definitely interesting to see. Now, looking at that, it is, pretty evident that when it actually comes to, things like total volume reported, we have seen it increase as of recent. And we may actually see that continue to increase. It really does depend what happens next. But looking at what is actually going on, there is some, kind of big news that has come out all over Twitter. So I definitely did want to go through it, and even a message from Elon Musk himself. But we had this: Michael Berry, AMC, GME. It's going to be one Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Sorry, fellas, I can't say that. But compared to AMC, and both are correlating perfectly, like many times before. Unprecedented bottoms and signals, way bigger than any previous run. So definitely interesting to see here. Now, looking at this, we actually do know that GameStop, it has actually moved in a very, very similar direction to AMC as well. Now, obviously, when it comes to AMC, we did just go through the graph, so you definitely see some similarity there. And when it actually comes to GameStop, I know people that are in AMC don't like to be in GameStop and vice versa, but sometimes I do have to mention there is definitely some, evidence that both of these are somewhat in that same boat, and moving in that same direction as well. So it's definitely something to be, keeping an eye out for. So we had this post, which was really interesting. If Elon Musk acquired AMC and forced a full share recall or tender offer at a high premium, it could trigger a short squeeze. And this is definitely true. Now, when we actually look at this, we see that Elon Musk, Paramount, is now reportedly looking to launch a hostile bid for Warner Bros. They feel their $30 a share all cash offer is higher than what Netflix offered in terms of cash, stock, and the value of the cable business spinoff. So, it is going to be very, very interesting to see how this does play out. But I do believe, as I've always mentioned, when it comes to anything in that theater niche, there is definitely going to be some sort of effect, some sort of trickle effect down to AMC for sure. Now, is it going to be a positive or negative effect? That is just something that we are still just waiting to see what kind of happens next. So there is really nothing kind of guaranteed when it comes to deals like this. I've seen times where, AMC has great news, or even other stocks have great news, and for some reason it goes the other way. So, it is definitely evident that there could be something happening. There could be something brewing. And when this does actually fold, AMC could potentially be moving in the right direction for sure. Now, we had this post, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. AMC net debt plummets 63% in 5 years. So from 10.5 billion to 3.85 billion is absolutely impressive. Debt destroyed. So you see here 10.5 billion, 2021, 9.2, 9.4, 2022, 2023 had 8.2, 7.5 billion, 2024, and then actually 3.85 in 2025. So very, very impressive to see. And when it comes to actually, AMC, it's definitely been moving in the right direction. There is a lot of movement that has been going on for sure for AMC, and it is just a matter of time to see, kind of what really does go on. As I've said, most and many times before, December, January, I think is going to be a very exciting time for AMC. I'm not saying that a MOAS is going to happen straight away, but I do believe that it is definitely going to be a very, very good time, in a sense that a lot of news coming out, a lot of things happening that could definitely trigger something for AMC for sure. Now, we did actually have this from, none other than Adam Aaron himself. Now, this is on September 1, but a lot of people did forget it, so I thought I'd remind you all about this video. Some of you may have watched it, some of you may have not, but let's give this video a watch. I'll just let it play out and give it a listen on what he had to say.
Idea. The biggest idea I'm working on, I can't talk to you about.
Really? Oh, yeah, you can. We're amongst friends.
Not till January or February.
Super Bowl?
No, it's not sports.
Okay.
But if we can pull this one off, this is a really amazing idea. But we haven't pulled it off yet, so I can't.
The Taylor Travis wedding. Call Scott Swift right now.
One thing I learned about, the one thing I never joke about is Taylor Swift.
Oh, God. All right. You and me both.
I just am very reverent, as she properly deserves.
All right, Adam Aaron, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So obviously, hearing what he had to say. Now, this post also said the biggest idea I'm working on, I can't talk to you about, not until January or February, which is what I just mentioned before, how January is going to be a great time. But if we can pull this one off, this is a really amazing idea, but we haven't pulled this off yet, so I can't talk about it. So yeah, we do believe that Adam Aaron has definitely had some ideas in or behind his sleeve, definitely looking to see how it does go in January, February. And I do believe that is a time that you could definitely keep an eye out for, as it could be a very pivotal moment for AMC in general, and also the other meme stocks out there for sure. But when it comes to AMC, it is definitely good to keep an eye out for it. Now, we also had this post. Companies like GameStop and AMC should investigate their stock market for market manipulation and naked shorting, since the SEC and FINRA aren't doing anything. Repost if you agree. And I think we all completely agree with that. SEC not going to do anything. FINRA is not going to do anything. So it is pretty much less, up to us apes to really hold on and huddle through this time, because as we mentioned before, the longer this goes on, the bigger the MOAS for sure. So, for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for what goes on over the next couple of months. And it is definitely going to be interesting to see GameStop and AMC, with what is coming for sure.